Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, December 4th, 2014, and I want to talk about how I thought of self love. Um, and I'm sharing my own experience of it because I find it's more helpful to share from my own experience about what I've been through, um, and that it helps other people relate to their own experience if they can relate to mine. So I, for a long time, was confused about what self-love was. Um, it does include taking care of the body. So I got into yoga. I definitely have cleaned up my eating habits a lot, and but it doesn't stop there. Um, what I discovered is really crucial about incorporating into self-love is the mind. This is where I think a lot of people get hung up. They forget, and I forgot as well, that self-love is taking care of your thoughts also. So how do you do that? Um, well, when I discovered selfleadership.org through the group that I studied with in Maui, the Maui Forum, um, I realized I had been missing a crucial component of self-love, and that is loving your ego or your lower self. I know ego can be a trigger word for lots of people, so I like the lower self to use that verbiage more than the ego. So what does that look like? So how do I love myself? Well, first of all, I follow my own guidance, my intuition, and it's taken me a really long time to getting to the place where I do trust my intuition and my guidance. But I am doing that more often than not. Also, I stopped pushing away and making myself wrong for having any thoughts or feelings at all. So every thought and feeling that I have, I make it okay that it's there. I acknowledge what I'm thinking and how that's affecting how I'm feeling. What I've been taught and what resonates with me is that if I have a thought that doesn't feel good, that is an indication that my thought is out of alignment with how my higher self sees whatever it is I'm thinking about. So that our feelings are always an indication of where we're at. So if you don't feel good, then you're in your ego. If you feel good, you can be in your ego, but hopefully you're in your heart space, especially if you feel very light and warm. So I also, if I have thoughts that don't feel good, I immediately make it okay they're there. And I also say, I don't have to believe this. 99.9% of the thoughts that we have that occur on their own are not true. And I also do not engage with those thoughts. I don't allow them to take on a life of their own. And this didn't happen overnight for me. It took me a while. But constant attention to your thoughts and your feelings are just by itself an act of love. This is very simple self-love, and it is very effective. So just think for a moment, if you have kids, um, think for a moment how they react when you tell them, oh, not now, or go away, or um, if we are choosing not to engage with them, like say we're in a conversation with a friend and they're, Mom, they're tugging on your shirt or your pants or dress or whatever, Mom, you know what happens? As soon as you give them attention, they calm down, right? Well, your lower self is the same way. As soon as you give it the attention that it wants, it calms down. I did have a very significant change literally overnight. I had a lot of anger I was hanging on to, and when I made it okay for the anger to be there and I started exploring what was within that anger, it 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 melted. It was like, wow, she's finally listening to me. And it's really just listening to yourself. I listen to people a lot, and I hear a lot of what people have going on inside. I've gotten really good at as within, so without. So I look at what's going on outside of myself because it's telling me exactly what's going on inside. Out here, whatever's going on out here is a direct mirror reflection of what's going on up here or in here. So when I practice this, I'm able to see, to correlate what's going on inside of me. And I can see from the direct evidence outside of myself what's going on in here. So you can do that for yourself as well. You have to engage the observer. We all have a part, an observer part that is neutral in its observation, and it's there as a tool to help you see where you're at. And you're either in one of two places. You're either in your lower self or you're in your core, your heart. These are the only two places we have to make decisions from, and we have that decision every moment. Every moment we are in choice about how to respond to something, and we either respond from our ego, which is most of the time for most of us, or we respond from our heart. And there really is no other space to make those choices from. And another way I love myself is I stay away from people who want to share their misery with me. It's one thing to need somebody to listen to you that needs empathy, and I'm very good at that. I'm very empathic myself, so I feel a lot. It's a big reason why I spend most of my time by myself, because feeling other people can sometimes get overwhelming for me. But I definitely stay away from the people who just want to piss and moan about things and don't want to hear how they can help themselves with it. I just disengage from, I very politely and lovingly say, you know what, I don't want to listen to this. And I either leave or I change the subject. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually very healthy, and it's creating a boundary. It's very unhealthy to allow people to do that, for one thing, because it keeps them in their story. The longer people tell their stories, the more they're going to keep recreating the same problems over and over and over again. And I think I'm going to have to make this into 2 parts, because I want to keep this less than 10 minutes also for the upload. So I'm going to stop here and make a second part. I'll see you soon.